Up to now, we've mentioned many times that each chapter starts with the word once, and the book is called Once. But now it's time to sort of talk about what that is. This is a literary device called anaphora. An anaphora is usually used in poems, and it means when you repeat the same word at the beginning of a phrase of poetry. So this repetition of the same word is a device called anaphora. And it is an anaphora that is used here, and it kind of makes a poetic statement at the beginning of each chapter, and it clearly defines each section with this repetition of the word, and the first sentence of every chapter being a summary about what's about to occur. So if we talk about an anaphora, we're talking about this repetitive use of the word once. Now, tension is being built here. He's about to come home, and coming home would release tension. He's finally found where he's going, although we now know that's not the case. And one of the literary devices used here is truncated sentences. A truncated sentence is a sentence that is made short. Have a look here. Then I was home. That's the long sentence at the beginning. But we build tension now with shortened sentences. In our town, in our street. It's just like I remember. Well, almost. We then have a long sentence to balance that out because too many short sentences and it's an overload. But a short sentence can be used to raise tension, and it's a very powerful little tool to use short sentences. You have to make sure that you don't use too many of them, and he does this quite well here. We've discussed dramatic irony before, and here we've also discussed this sentence. Why are some people kind to us Jewish book owners and some people hate us? Well, of course, we know that it's not Jewish book owners that are the issue. It's Jews. And so the idea that he's trying to make it about Jewish book owners to lessen the effect of the actual reality of what's occurring is an instant of dramatic irony. This sort of section here where he talks about Jewish book owners, that can be linked all the way back to chapter 3 when Yankiel asks him not to go. He replies about books, but Yankiel knows the truth that the Nazis are killing Jews, not just burning books, and now not just hating Jewish book owners, but actual Jew hatred or anti-Semitism. We also have flashbacks occurring here. So we see that he's remembering what things were like. The cake shop next to the ice cream shop, next to the roast meat shop, next to the jelly and jam shop, next to the fried potato shop, next to the chocolate-covered licorice bullet shop. So he's remembering a flashback of what his home was like in the past. That can be sort of wistful, like you're remembering stuff. So that can lessen the tension, which is why we have the short sentences occurring again after he's wistfully thinking about what things were like. This is very different. The whole street is deserted. 2 short sentences. Perhaps I'm confused. Perhaps I made the crowds up too. Then I see it. So these short, truncated sentences increase the tension. And these flashback passages sort of release tension and give a dreamy, wistful, remembering type of process. The last thing is what we've already spoken about with Mr. Kopec. And the big question that Felix asks, why are some people kind to us Jewish book owners, and some people hate us? Now, if we look back, we see here, Mr. Kopec used to empty toilets with Mr. Razin. So Mr. Razin and Mr. Kopec work together. They're both Polish, neither of them are Jewish. But one wants to turn him in and is full of hatred of the Jews. The other one is compassionate and wants to help. So we have a juxtaposition here, just like we discussed in the previous chapter. Juxtaposed, 2 people exactly the same stations in life. They both empty toilets. They're in a lower station in life. One turns to Jew hatred, anti-Semitism. The other is compassionate to Jews. And so Felix asks this question: why are some people kind and why do some people hate us? That's the big question of identity in the book. When it comes to the themes in chapter 5 of Once, identity again plays a key role. Felix is struggling with who is he, his connection with his family, his connection with his town. He's lost his family, he's been driven out of his town. And perhaps more than any other chapter so far, he's faced with anti-Semitism. He's heard about Jew hatred before, but he's now faced with being a Jew and being hated. We have a theme of longing for home and the family connection, and of course imagination. Felix has a strong imagination, and with this imagination he tends to want to be hopeful and optimistic and turn every situation around to being a situation that is full of hope, not despair.